Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, it girls. I hope you all are doing amazing. Welcome to Faithfully Feminine Podcast, where I, your host Imani Bailey, shares all things faith, all things feminine, and practical ways to transform yourself through navigating womanhood, while sharing lessons God has taught me along the way. Sit back, relax, and let's get into some things. Good morning, y'all. I hope y'all are doing amazing. I know it is Wednesday and y'all are probably like, girl, what was the episode on Monday? Reason being, I switched my schedule for 2024 and for some reason, I'm still operating on the old schedule. So I do apologize. Podcast episodes are supposed to be up on Mondays and the YouTube videos will be up on Wednesdays, and then blog posts will be every Monday and Wednesday. Just keep very quick updates. Well, that was one already. Make sure you are signed up to be a part of my community. The link will be down below wherever you get your podcast. It will be in the description box. You could also find it in the description box of all of my YouTube videos. And yeah, just make sure you're part of the girl gang, because why not be gang, gang, gang? Today, we're doing a shift in media and popular culture. Today, we are not going to be opening up our Bibles though, but please make sure that you read your Bible verse for today. I love the Bible app. Even if you just read one verse or one chapter, make sure you are getting your Bible reading in, because Satan is out here, babe. Let's get into these are the things that we can learn from Lori Harvey. And I just want to put a disclaimer out there because one, clearly I do not know the girl. Let's start there. I don't know her. We don't know her personally. So this is things that we can learn from her from a PR, public relations, outside looking in perspective. This is not internalizing everything about her. She could very much well be a horrible person. We don't know. All we know is all we know. Okay, babe. So these are the things that we can learn from her and be more influential and more calculated in our lives. Just because you're calculated does not mean that you're plotting on something evil. First things first, let's talk about who Lori Harvey is, because I know I do have a broad audience. I have people who listen to me from all over the world. So if you have your phone, computer, or whatever handy, pull up and Google Lori Harvey. If not, you can visit my blog, child. The post is up there on this, but of course the podcast is longer and I'm going to explain more detail into the things that we can learn from her. Lori Harvey is the daughter of, I think how you say her name is Marjorie Harvey, and that's Steve Harvey's current wife. Now, Steve Harvey did not father Lori Harvey, although he is a stepfather to her. I honestly do not know who Lori Harvey's real father is. I don't think anyone knows. Okay, not anyone, but the public doesn't really know who Lori Harvey's biological father is. However, Marjorie Harvey had married Steve Harvey and she had already had Lori, and Lori just took on Steve Harvey's last name, which makes sense because Steve Harvey already had a name for himself. He was already well known, and it just makes sense. Well, and it's really, if her father wasn't even in her life, why not? You got married and she taking your last name. That's his daughter now. So that is his stepfather. For those of you who are wondering, oh, is that his biological daughter? No. Lori Harvey is a socialite. And typically when you think about socialites, I don't know what comes to your mind, but what comes to my mind is a Paris Hilton, a Nicole Richie, a Kim Kardashian, at the time. When I think socialites, I really think of people who are typically in the limelight, in the club, you see them plastered on page 6 before social media was around. Paparazzi was always following them. I don't really think of something that is necessarily good. I feel like socialites back then. Now, when I say back then, I'm thinking about 2002, early 2000s. They were people who were the who's who's and somehow managed to get in rooms with certain esteemed professionals, all while partying hard and doing nightclub events. And they were nightclub hosts before nightclub hosting was a thing. Okay. Before the Aries of the world, that was Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. And so I think of Lori Harvey as the socialite who is not intertwined in too much drama, as far as drama that would hurt her image. she has a really good image for the most part. I mean, the complaints that we see about Lori Harvey are typically like men complaining because she's a single woman dating. Honestly and truly, I don't really see too many complaints about the girl. And so that's what it is. So she's like a socialite who is who turned into a businesswoman, and she's kind of leveraged her last name and placed herself in rooms with people who are the who's who, with people who know the who's who and people who call shots. People can help manage brand deals and get her deals and get her foot in the door. So Lori has done a good job, whether it was her or her mom starting off, and more than likely it was her mom starting off with having to change her last name, for one, of making her be put into like a different place around a different caliber of men. And so shout out to her mom. Secondly, so that's one thing you can learn from Lori Harvey's. First things first is that as you maneuver through life and whatever goals that you have down and you want to accomplish and dreams that you have, you are going to need other people. There's no such thing as being self-made. I really hate that term. Like I hate it with a passion. I don't really hate many things in this world. I was not allowed to say the word hate growing up, but I hate the word self-made. You hear that, mother? I hope my mom hears this. Like, I hope it pisses her off with me saying the word hate. I hate the word self-made because you're always going to need someone in your corner. And whatever deal you are fostering, whatever deal you're about to sign, whatever deal you are negotiating, there is someone on the other end. So step number one, rule number one, put yourself in places with people who you want to be like. And not only that, put yourself in places with people who are not like you, because you can always learn something, and you never know who someone knows. You never know how you could actually help someone out. You never know. All you know is all you know, and that's all you know. Okay. And so the second thing we can learn from Lori Harvey is how, before we even get into the dating, which is a huge part of why I picked her in the first place, but the second thing is really her style. How she presents herself. Everyone has their own style, and you are entitled to that. That is perfectly okay. I don't really know what to call Lori Harvey's style. I know that it has changed over the years, as of most people's style. I would say that her style is kind of like a grown and sexy chic. I don't know what it is, but it is really cute. She's not too conservative to where it's like she dresses old for her or more mature for her age. But at the same time, she's not walking around in like club attire and just like she's a streetwalker all day. She has that perfect balance of business attire, like casual business, smart casual, but a sexy element to it. She does sometimes show skin because, I mean, let's not face it, the girl does have a swimwear line, which we're going to talk about later. So she does show her body off, the body that she's paid, bought for, and worked for. We're going to get into that later, but just making sure that you are defining your style for this current season in your life. Your style is going to change just like you are going to change. And as you age, your style may mature more, as it should, as it should mature more. Another good example from like a more mature woman whose style that I absolutely love, actually two women. One is Sutton from Housewives of Beverly Hills. For the most part, I really do love Sutton's style because Sutton is older. I want to say she's like in her 60s, and she dresses pretty fly for a 60-year-old woman. Not actually pretty fly. She dresses very fly for a 60-year-old woman. Garcelle, I love Garcelle's style as well. It's not always about labels with her. So no matter what it is, if it's affordable, it looks nice. Garcelle has Miss Fancy from Jamie Foxx show, Garcelle from Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she also is a fashion model. She has really good style as well, and her style has changed throughout the years. So I want you to define and get on Pinterest and look at different styles that you might want to try out. You always have the ability to change yourself every day. And if you wake up and say, I don't want to wear BBL fashion 24/7, I want to start elevating my style, I want to try something different, you have the right to do that. So that is the second thing that we can learn from Lori Harvey. Your style is always evolving and it has the ability to change. Just make sure that you stick to it and you dress for your body type. The third thing that you can learn from Miss Lori Harvey is that you must, when I say must, I mean must. You must invest in your body. In your body, your maintenance of your body, the health of your body, you must invest in it. And when I say you must invest in your body, everyone has different financial means, and that's okay. But you have all you have today to start what you want to accomplish. And I am a heavy believer in that. I started with zero, okay? With nothing. So even if it's just, I'm going to start eating more green vegetables, let it be that. I'm going to cut out my sugar. Let it be that. I'm going to do at-home workouts. You don't even have to have a gym. But that $15 that you just spent on Chipotle, you could spend on getting just one dumbbell set and then add on to that. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear like any excuse of, I don't have this, I don't have enough money for a gym. You got YouTube, you got a home, you can buy a mat from Five Below, or you don't even need a mat. You can do at-home workouts. So even if it is just, I'm going to move my body for 30 minutes a day, let it be that. Lori Harvey is no surprise when the girlie, she had started a whole Pilates movement when she had said that her body had claimed from Pilates. And I'm not saying that she was lying. Her body more than likely did come from doing Pilates. I can tell with the definition. She has muscle definition without being too like muscular, if that makes sense. And Pilates gives you that like lean muscle look. However, she also has a lot of money. She more than likely has a chef, has a personal trainer, and it looks like she has had some surgery done. I'm saying it looks like she has surgery. I'm not saying that she's absolutely have, but I know surgery when I see it. Now, what surgery she's had done, I'm not sure, but it does look like she could have had a skinny BBL, and it does not matter. What I'm saying is that she invests in her body and in her looks, because when you invest in your body, you're investing in your health, and you want to live a long time. You want to combat certain diseases, especially if you're in America. Heart disease, diabetes, obesity, everything's at a high cholesterol. Like everything's at a high right now. And so just implement little things to show God too that you care about the temple that he's given you. And although in this afterlife, when we move on from earth, it says in the Bible, look at this full circle moment back to the Bible. It says in the Bible that we will receive a new body. Let's see. Let's open it up actually so I can read y'all the verse. I had to go searching, and I had to go searching for all my heart, because I was like, I know it says this in the Bible now, but I don't know every verse by memory. It's 2 Corinthians 5. This is the New Living Translation, NLT. And it says, for we know that when his earthly tent we live in is taken down, that is when we die and leave this earthly body, we will have a house in heaven, an eternal body made for us by God himself and not by human hands. We grow weary in our present bodies, and we long to put on our heavenly bodies like new clothing. For we will put on heavenly bodies. We will not be spirits without bodies. While we live in these earthly bodies, we groan and sigh. But it is that we want to die and get rid of these bodies that clothe us. Rather, we want to put on our new bodies so that these dying bodies will be swallowed up by life. God himself has prepared this for us, and as a guarantee, he has given us his Holy Spirit. So although your body start over in heaven, although you get a new body in heaven, right? You still have a body that you got to take care of today. It's almost like growing up when your mom or your parents are like, we can't trust you with this because you don't even take care of the stuff that we give you, right? You ever ask for like a new toy or a new laptop, a new computer, or whatever, and your parents go like, you don't even take care of the one you got. Why would I trust you with more when you don't take care of the one you got? So she invests in her image. She invests in her body. And so that is like one of the most important takeaways that you can get from this episode is that invest in your body, invest in your looks, keep up with your temple. It's not the only one you're going to get, but you still need to show the Lord like, hey, I am thankful for this temple that you've given me here. So when I get my new one, God be gracious, okay? I don't know what the new body gonna look like, but I know I'm going to get one. The next thing you could learn from Miss Lori Harvey is we're going to start talking about her businesses. She is a businesswoman. And although you listening to this might not be a businesswoman or might not feel like you're called to be a businesswoman, that is okay. There are things that you can learn from people who run businesses. You can also volunteer, maybe start a nonprofit. You never know where life may lead you. But as a businesswoman, there are certain attributes you have to have. You got to learn how to network with people because you're always going to need people when it comes to deals. Before she even became a businesswoman, she did preparation to get to where she needed to get to in order to launch her swimwear line and her skincare line. I believe her skincare line was actually the first one that she launched. But before that, she actually did business collaborations. I remember she had a collaboration with Pretty Little Thing, and I love that collaboration because Pretty Little Thing is a fast fashion United Kingdom based brand, right? And Pretty Little Thing's clothing is not necessarily the best, but Lori Harvey understands that many women her age do not have the capital that she has, and you can still look pretty dang good with fast fashion clothes on. Pretty Little Thing did a good job of releasing these clothing, the pieces of clothing that kind of mimic Lori Harvey's style. I think they do good collaborations because they just don't tell the person hey, this is our business and you need to follow suit. Because Pretty Little Thing is almost like a little upscale of a Fashion Nova. They have a lot of club clothes on there, but you can also find good work clothes and stuff on there. And so when it came to Lori Harvey's collaboration, they made sure to radiate her fashion as it is now. And so it allowed people who liked her, even people who didn't know her, to buy the clothing a part of her collaboration. She's collaborated with a couple of businesses, whether it was high-end and more faster fashion before she got into doing her own business. So I think when you are talking a business, it may be good to collaborate with other people before you even go into business. Or maybe, just maybe, you are only a collaborator, and that is okay too. So before she went to her business, she did a lot of collaborations. And in order to do collaborations, you need to learn how to compromise. You cannot collab without compromise. And I'm pretty sure not every piece made it to the collection that she wanted. And I'm pretty sure there may be pieces that she didn't like as much, but she more than likely compromised for this Pretty Little Thing collaboration. Now, moving into her business ventures, she started out with her skincare line, which I didn't think was a good PR move because when I think about Lori Harvey, I don't think about skinwear. I don't think about, what the heck? Did I say skinwear? Did I just invent a word? I don't think about skincare. I more than likely would have loved to see her have an accessory line. I think that would have been great. But instead, she came out with skincare, and she is known to have really beautiful skin, but she maintains that beautiful skin by maintaining her body and also probably paying for expensive dermatologists, microdermabrasion, Morpheus 8, hydrofacials, and whatever, so on and so forth. When she came out with the skincare line, it was very clean. It was minimal makeup. And before she came out with the line, I remember a lot of her photos did show her having minimal makeup on. It was to reveal how beautiful her skin was. So before she even did a launch of the skincare line, she did a soft launch of, this is what I'm coming out with. And so when you look at me and see all of these photos of me on the red carpet and these paparazzi or whatever, you're going to see how beautiful my skin is months before I even come out with a line. It was actually a pretty smart move. Now that you go back and look into it, you're gonna be like, oh wow, that is pretty smart. But anyway, as a businesswoman, you need to learn how to collaborate. You need to learn when is to make the right moves. You need to know how to network and also a little bit of PR. Moving on to the next thing you can learn from Lori Harvey is how to actually date. I could really spend a whole podcast episode talking about every man that Lori Harvey has dated. Dating means that you are collecting data on somebody and you are collecting that data and making a sound decision to see if this is going to be your husband or not. And if the answer is no, then that person needs to go. And the cycle continues. That's what dating is. Dating is conducting interviews with men. And once it works out, works out. Once it doesn't, it doesn't. And so a lot of men I see complain about Lori Harvey because she's dated a lot of affluent people. And it seems like, oh my gosh, people call her passed around. People say she slept with everyone. But in hindsight, they don't really know that, to be honest. They don't know. Because every time you date someone doesn't necessarily mean that you sleep with them. But people like to do this thing where they project what they do onto other people because they don't understand how to date. They weren't taught to do so. And they were manipulated by men to think that dating is some type of marriage. If you are not in a committed relationship, you are supposed to be dating multiple men because you are not in a relationship. It's really not a hard concept. But I think when people's emotions get wrapped up into it, they want to cut off other guys because, oh my gosh, I really like this guy. And I'm like, girl, you like him more than he like you. If he really like you, he would be in a committed relationship with you. But he's not because you're acting like his wife. Like you're shacking up. Like there are people shacking up with people. There are people intertwining their finance with people who are not their husbands. Like, y'all, don't get me to start ranting because it really makes me so upset to see these girls fall down to their demise and not protect themselves. Dating is collecting data. Dating is interviewing. If it doesn't work out for the position, you move on. A job continues interviews while they are giving an interview to you. You are never the only person a job is interviewing. Let's start there. Until the position is filled, a job will continue to interview other candidates because they want to see if they're going to get the best candidate for the role. That, my dear, is what you should be doing as well. Lori Harvey has dated affluent men because she's in affluent spaces. And her dad is Steve Harvey, let's be honest. She's had dated men like Future, Diddy's son, Damson, Michael B. Jordan. The Michael B. Jordan one I thought was cute. I really did. I wanted them to work out. It might have been a PR stunt. It might have been actually her dating him. We really don't know. And that moves into my next point. Lori Harvey does not address everything. If you had to sit and address every rumor or everything someone has ever said about you, you will be exhausted. Especially if you have a following as big as hers. Even with my following, I would be exhausted if I had to address every little thing that someone has said about me or something bad about me. It would just run me ragged. Sometimes you have to allow people to just have that character in their head about you. If you are the villain, you are the villain in someone else's story, and that's just going to have to be what it is. You don't have to walk around proving yourself to everyone. There's so much hearsay about Lori Harvey and, oh my gosh, she slept with all these men, and oh my gosh, she doesn't know how to keep a man, and oh my gosh, she ruined something. I don't know what the men just be mumbling and cackling about the queen, as Nikki would say. But you notice that she doesn't open her mouth to address anything. When Future, as a 40-something plus year old man with I don't know how many baby mothers and children, did a song and said, tell Steve Harvey, I don't want her. And I know that pissed her off because it pissed me off hearing it. And not only that, I'm from Atlanta, so they play that song every day in the club, multiple times, and they still do. They still do. They still play that song. And he said this on a national song. It's called Maybach with him and 42 Doug. He said this, and what was her response? Absolutely nothing. And it made him look stupid. It made him look like the hurt one. Like, you're a 40-something-year-old man trying to diss a 20-something-year-old woman in a song. You have like 10 babies and 5 baby mothers to worry about, minus Sierra because she's moved on. I don't consider. So you don't have to address everything. What's understood does not have to be said. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Look up Lori Harvey if you don't know who I'm talking about. Also, check out my blog. You can see I compiled like 3 or 4 pictures just to kind of show her style and the things that she wears to show her body while still being tasteful. And subscribe to be a part of the community on my website. I actually have it now where if you subscribe to be a part of the community, you receive the free gratitude journal without having to pay without having to pay $7.99. And I'll see y'all on Monday this time for real. Bye.